All right, we are about to go on a really strange journey today. Seriously, we're going to connect 90s pop music, a classic sitcom, and a really powerful lesson about leadership. It sounds kind of wild, I know, but trust me, where we end up is pretty amazing. So, yeah, here it is. The big question. How can these three completely random things, a cartoon cat, a dramatic power ballad, and a teen sitcom, possibly have anything to do with each other? It sounds like a bad joke, right? But the answer, well, it tells us something really important about how big ideas actually land. So let me introduce you to our guides for this whole thing. This is a story about an AI-powered elephant named Fonty, who's basically trying to figure out what it means to be human. And with him is his creator, Richana. And their entire adventure started, believe it or not, with the music video for Paula Abdul's Opposites Attract. You know, the one with the rapping cartoon cat, MC Scat Cat. To really get what happened next, we have to go back in time with them, all the way back to one specific week, February 10th, 1990. Paula Abdul and that cartoon cat were at number one. So that got Fonty and Rachna thinking, what else was going on in the world at that exact moment? What was the vibe? And what a time capsule this chart is. I mean, look at it. You've got dance pop, you've got R&B, a classic rock song from Rod Stewart, even some hair metal. It is just a perfect slice of pop culture from that time. For an AI like Fonty, this was like a masterclass in human taste. And Rachna explained to Fonty that, for any kid growing up then, this playlist felt totally normal. This was the music you heard on the radio, at the roller rink. It was just the soundtrack of life. But as they looked down that list, one of these songs was not like the others. It kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. It just didn't seem to fit with everything else. Michael Bolton. Now look, this is an epic power ballad, right? It's about intense, grown-up, soul-crushing heartbreak. If you were 10 years old, this was probably the song you'd skip to get to the next dance track. It just wasn't for you. But here's the puzzle that just totally stumped Fonty. Because for an entire generation of people, that specific Michael Bolton song is maybe the most memorable one on that entire chart. So how is that possible? How does an idea or a song that completely fails in one context become absolutely unforgettable in another? That's a question every single leader should be asking. As Fonty and Rachana were about to find out, the answer had nothing to do with the radio at all. The real magic happened somewhere else entirely. Yup, the song found its true calling on Saturday morning TV, on a show that millions of kids watched every single week, Saved by the Bell, and specifically in one legendary episode called The Last Dance. Okay, so just picture the scene. Zach and Kelly, the show's golden couple, are at a dance dressed as Romeo and Juliet. But then, at a picnic table outside, Kelly breaks up with Zach. It's devastating. And right at that moment, inside, their friends are on stage performing that exact Michael Bolton song. Zach and Kelly have one last heartbreaking dance, and then the show just fades to black. No jokes, no laugh track. For a kids' show, this was mind-blowing. And see, the show's writer knew exactly what they were doing. They said the song was perfect because that over-the-top drama, which feels kind of silly to a kid hearing it on the radio, is the perfect way to describe how a first heartbreak feels. It really does feel like the end of the world. And this right here, this was the big aha moment for Fonty. You've got the song on one side, an adult power ballad, that's the message. But then you've got the context, the breakup of two characters that an entire generation felt like they were friends with. The song gave them the language for an emotional moment they were already deeply invested in. And that's the core idea of this whole explainer. The song itself didn't change one bit, the music, the words, all the same. But by putting it in the middle of this powerful, relatable story, Saved by the Bell gave it a completely new and unforgettable meaning. So what on earth does this have to teach us about leadership? Well, as Fonty and Rachana dug in, they realized this whole story is a powerful metaphor for anyone trying to communicate a big idea or lead people through a change. They gave it a name. They called it a picnic table. It's that specific place, that specific story, that perfect moment where your message, your new strategy, your big vision can finally truly be felt by your audience. It's not just about what you say, it's about setting the stage so people can actually hear it. And I just love this summary that their AI assistant, Claude, came up with. The context doesn't create the emotion out of nowhere. The potential for that feeling was already in the song. All the TV show did was create the absolute perfect conditions for that emotion to land with an audience that would have otherwise just ignored it. So for all of us, whether you're a leader, a creator, or just trying to get an idea across, this becomes a really useful tool. Your message could be perfect, your timing could be perfect, but if it's not landing, if people aren't feeling it, the question isn't, what's wrong with my message? The question is, has my message found its picnic table yet?
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. Think about the ideas you're trying to communicate, the changes you're trying to make. Is there something you truly believe in that just isn't getting through? Well, maybe it's not the message that's wrong. Maybe it just hasn't found its own heartbreaking last dance at the Bayside High School costume ball.